how Ubisoft has managed to once again piss off Japan? No, not Frontier, Revan. Frontier is doing good. Frontier is making all of its players very, very happy lately. Ubisoft, however, has apparently figured out how to piss off Japan again. I have no idea what they did, Josh. That is why I'm curious. So, let us see how Ubisoft managed to, once again, piss off one of their most important customer bases that their newest game is fucking based upon. Shall we?
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So another day and another Ubisoft related video. I mean, it's not too surprising given the never-ending stream of bad news affecting this company, and today is no different. So we're going to be looking at the latest developments involving Ubisoft, including the closure of some of their studios, and also the very poor attempts that Ubisoft is making to try to hide Yasuke in the background of their promotional materials, which is only serving to piss off gamers even more. In particular, really piss off Japanese gamers.
I like sexiness. I like sex stuff. Yes, I am a pervert. I am a hentai. Tessa, you did that just so it would be in the YouTube video, didn't you? Well, Tangia is not an alert I can mute. I can mute the rest of the alerts. Tangia is its own thing. Thank you, Tysel. Shall we continue?
Gamers who have had enough of the virtue signaling at Ubisoft. So let's begin with the first part of the news here. So you can see the headline: Ubisoft closes Star Wars Outlaws studio, lays off 185 employees as company's financial troubles.
This is what we heard about.
Ahead of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yep. Yesterday we talked about BioWare having some layoffs, and I guess
we talked about the Ubisoft closing the Star Wars studio. That was the it was one of the three it was, remember we talked about Ubisoft, they closed one studio and they downsized the shit out of two other ones of their, it was like European branches. I think one was in Leamington. I don't remember exactly. But the studio that they closed, which I think was the Leamington studio, that was the one that worked on Star Wars Outlaws. And then two more, again in Europe, they laid off like 185 employees from those two studios combined. So yeah, they're closing they're preparing for the end, I think. This is like all of these closures, all of these layoffs, it feels like they're preparing for the inevitable.
Ubisoft is joining the club, which is not too surprising again when you have fail after fail after fail and your company is hemorrhaging money. Something has to give at this point. But let's see some of the details of this latest restructuring. So Ubisoft has closed their Ubisoft Leamington studio, which is based in the UK, and they were known for working on games such as Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I mean, need I say more? Those were...
Well, this explains a lot. Not only the Star Wars Outlaws, but Skull and Bones. That, I'm actually a little bit amazed that the studio remained open after Skull and Bones, because Skull and Bones was probably even more of, I want to say it was even more of a failure than Star Wars Outlaws was. Yeah, the quadruple A game that crashed and burned hard. Let me see. I'm really curious. Hang on. Yeah. All-time peak of Skull and Bones was 2,500 players on PC. 98 or how many playing with a 24-hour peak of 118. Now, for comparison, Star Wars Outlaws had the same fucking all-time peak. Think about that. Skull Bones and Star Wars Outlaws had the same all-time peak Although it does have more players on it right now than Skull and Bones does. Granted, Skull and Bones is older. But, I mean, I'm surprised it took this long to close the studio after they did this game. And like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, nobody's ever even fucking heard of that game. Well, Elge, that was the biggest point of contention, is Ubisoft had the perfect graphical and gameplay blueprint already in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They could have taken their engine and their graphics from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and made a kick-ass pirate game. They could have. It was all right there. And what did they do instead? They just went, fuck it, we're just gonna make an absolute dog shit game. Instead of literally using the blueprint from a game 10 years old that was perfect for this kind of game.
Were all big flops and very expensive ones at that. But
this
closure
Jay,
of
they
the
were. You didn't know that?
Studio is just a part of a...
Shit, sorry, Rev. Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, Ubisoft was contractually obligated because they were, they'd signed a contract with, I believe it was Hong Kong, to make the game, and so they had no choice but to release the game. They didn't want to release the game, but apparently because of the contract they had to, and you saw the state it released them because they took a lot of money from Hong Kong. I think it was Hong Kong again. I could be mistaken, but they took a lot of money to make the game, and so they had to release it under contract. The problem is they could have been good because they had the fucking engine from Black Flag. They had the engine, they had the graphics from Black Flag, and they could have used that to make an outstanding fucking game for a pirate game. That's what upset a lot of people, is that when Skull and Bones came out, everybody looked at it, went, you had the blueprint right there. You had one of the best games. Yeah. They said you had one of the best pirate games ever made. Right there in Black Flag. And this is what you give us. And that's what pissed off a lot of people. And Dino Fan, thank you for the follow, by the way.
A larger restructuring plan that will affect other Ubisoft offices as well, including those in Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Newcastle upon Tyne.
Not Dusseldorf.
These names, I'm sure I'm butchering them. But anyways, this is a part of a much larger restructuring, which again is not surprising. They have to trim the fat over at Ubisoft. I believe their annual payroll for their employees is something close to $1 billion.
I know.
And right now, based on the market value of Ubisoft, that's almost the same price. The market value of Ubisoft is barely over $1 billion, and yet their payroll for their employees is almost that high. Something has to give. And here's an example that 185 employees will be losing their jobs as they do this quote-unquote restructuring to try to save this company from going under. However, we know the elephant in the room here. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is the Hail Mary attempt by Ubisoft to save their company, and yeah.
Okay, let's call it what it is. Assassin's Creed is not a Hail Mary. Assassin's Creed is a swan song. This game ain't gonna save Ubisoft. This game is gonna be what puts it under. Let's not fuck with it.
All eyes are on them, and things just aren't looking very good, including some of the previews of this game. You have this
wait a second.
Image here, this video that's been going around. As you can see, the gameplay is spectacular. I'm glad they focused so much on DEI.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me? Is it? Yeah. What the fuck? This is like... Yeah, and you are right. This is a question of, is this an alpha build or is this nearly a release build? That is an excellent question. What build is this that we are looking at? Now, if this is the state of the game within the last couple months, that's bad. If we're looking at gameplay footage from several months back when we were talking about alpha or beta, that's a little different. It is a little different. But if this is from only a couple months ago, out.
Video that's been going around. As you can see, the gameplay is spectacular. I'm glad they focused so much on DEI and not actually making the game look good. Maybe the NPCs here are just afraid of fighting back because they might be labeled racist. I don't know. But one thing's for sure,
Maybe.
Yasuke remains a very controversial aspect of this game. And as you can see, I agree with the headline here from Francesco. I think they're doing everything in their power to roll back Yasuke's role, at least in promotional materials. They're trying to roll back how much his face is displayed. I mean, we saw the example.
Wait, Turhan, that was from you think it was from a live stream from a few weeks ago? Really? If someone can find that live stream, a video clip of that live stream from a couple weeks ago, see if you can find it. See if you're able to find the video footage and date of that live stream.
Examples of some of the promotional materials where he's just straight up not in the shot at all. And they're focusing more on the co-protagonist, Naoe, which I guess would make more sense because she's an actual assassin, but I digress here. We can see there's a lot of efforts to try to downplay Yasuke's role, and they're trying to save face with gamers, but in particular, Japanese gamers who are very, very tired of what Ubisoft has been doing with this game and Japanese history, for that matter. Now, there's some other things they've been doing to roll back the awful decisions they've made. As some people have pointed out, the description of the game has been changed in Japan. You can see the Western version describes Yasuke as a legendary samurai. They're still going with the samurai approach here. They're still going on these false claims thanks to Thomas Lockley, their #1 source, their Wikipedia vandalizer himself. But then when you look at the actual Japanese version, they use a term that is similar to warrior worth 1,000, just saying he's a very strong warrior. So clearly,
honestly, they even referring to him as a warrior worth 1,000 is too much. That's still, that's still giving giving him so much credit. It's effectively the same thing as calling him a samurai. Calling him a warrior worth 1,000 is the same as basically calling him a samurai. It's just prettying it up. Exactly. He was a retainer. He was not a fighter. All of the quote-unquote evidence that Yasuke was a samurai comes from one motherfucker who has been discredited, who has been shamed, who has been called the fuck out, and has been proven that every fucking thing he said is a lie. He is the only one that has called Yasuke a samurai. So, he, this was, let's be honest. Ubisoft basically saw this as a way of, oh, we can make a game about ancient Japan, but we can DEI the fuck out of it because this one researcher who is supposedly reputable said that Yasuke was a black man who was a samurai in ancient Japan, and trust me, bro, this is real. And Ubisoft probably creamed themselves, going, cool, we get to tick off several DEI checkboxes with this. And since then, it's come out that the guy was a complete fraud, and is not even affiliated with the school with the school he claimed to be like an adjunct professor at or something. Everything he said was a lie.
they're trying to do some sort of damage control
Nightmare,
here,
because Asian is now white adjacent, didn't you know?
Past Japanese gamers, but the hypocrisy here and the inconsistency has been pointed out. It just makes Ubisoft look worse. I mean, at this point, if you're going to mess around with Japanese history, at least stand firm in it, right? Instead of flip-flopping and trying to deceive some potential gamers versus others based on the region they're in, it's all a bunch of nonsense. But things continue to get even crazier. This account
Huh?
right here is a blast. Okay, Assassin's Creed News. A man.
Chat, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? Tell me if you're catching it. Huh? Are you seeing what I am seeing right now? No. The musket is floating off of his back. The musket isn't even touching. It's floating behind him, and the barrel is going through his helmet. The barrel is clipping right through his fucking helmet. But even more, the musket is not even attached to him. It's not slung or anything. It's literally just like floating behind him. I don't know. I don't even know about the watermelons. I'll take your word for that, Elge. It's not even magnetic, Apoc. It's floating. It's not even like magnetically attached to him. You can see the shadow. It's literally floating off of his back.
Imagine without even a blue check mark. I mean, they're doing this for the love of the game, not even for ad revenue. They are that dedicated to Assassin's Creed Shadows that they're working for the company for free. But this right here would get a lot of attention. 3.5 million views. Unfortunately, they're trying to promote this game, but it's not going the way they had intended because people are making fun.
Dylan, for the love of fuck, during the Yatsuke fight scene in Ubisoft's own promotional materials, when Yatsuke gets into a fight with several guards, they're playing fucking hip-hop music in the background. Okay? Ubisoft themselves are being racist. Because when he got into a fight with like in their promotional materials, when he gets into a fight with like 3 guards, they play like they basically play an ancient feudal Japanese version of hip hop. No bullshit. It's fucking hip hop. There's no mistaking. It's using like feudal Japanese era instruments, but it's fucking hip hop.
Of this screenshot because as you can see, the sword goes right through the helm. The clipping is absolutely embarrassing. This is a AAA studio releasing garbage like this, and as you can see, work in progress.
Yeah,
No
that's
kidding,
not. I don't.
right?
That's
But there.
that I think is a musket. Yeah, that's got to be the that's got. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a sword. That looks like it might be a musket, because I'm seeing what looks like the hammer right there. So I'm wondering if this is. I mean, I am seeing this pommel, so maybe it could be a sword. Now that the screen has been zoomed in, it could be a sword. I got the feeling that it was a musket because this looked like a hammer. Whatever the fuck it is, it's floating and clipping through the helmet.
Releasing garbage like
That's
this,
what I
and
thought
as you
Shaden
see,
said.
work in progress. Yeah, no kidding, right? But there would be a lot of reaction to this
Yeah,
because
that's
that's
what I
not
thought.
the only thing going on in this shot. As people point out, there seems to be some inconsistencies. Watermelons and cherry blossoms existing at the same time, which, as pointed out by this user, doesn't really make sense because they are not generally something that happens at the same time, even in modern Japan. Now, they go down here and they would add this part right here saying, is go crying really an appropriate response? Now, they're referring to the main account here, this Assassin's Creed News profile we've been talking about, where they say go crying. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But also, people are ragging on this because, again, it's like a very unfortunate misstep that has to be unintentional. I can't believe they would do this intentionally. That would be too much. But, of course, people are making jokes about, obviously, have a black samurai.
Well, unintentional or not, regardless if this was an unintentional oopsie, supposedly Ubisoft, with their Assassin's Creed franchise, was all about trying to be historically accurate. That was the whole point of Assassin's Creed as a franchise. Well, yes, it was fictional in nature. Obviously, you as the main character, at least even up to this point, you as the main character was not a real fictional character.
So that's an anachronism from Okami too. Well, that's an actually good game, and I look forward to the sequel.
Not familiar with it. Okay. Wait. Oh, that's what go cry. Okay, so that's what go crying is. It's referring to Okami. Okay, I guess Rev will talk about that. But even if this was unintentional, that doesn't matter because, as I was saying, Ubisoft is the whole purpose is that they're supposedly making historically accurate games. Regardless of the fact that you as the main character are a fictional character, the entire setting is supposed to be historically accurate. That's one thing that Ubisoft used to pride themselves on when it came to their Assassin's Creed games, is it took place in historical settings and those historical settings were accurate. With Assassin's Creed Shadows, they've kind of just went, fuck it, we're doing it live. And they just do not fucking care. This is Ubisoft kind of giving up. Honestly.
I swear this is the watermelon and chicken school lunch for Black History Month all over again, I swear.
I don't think they were going that route. I don't. I legitimately do not think that they did the watermelon thing because Yatsuke. No. No. That is a hell of a reach. Okay? That is a hell of a reach that doesn't.
Then you have watermelons, and people are saying this is a racist act by Ubisoft. And again, I don't think this was intentional. I just think they're really stupid. And once again, they're looking bad. Some people really do believe this stuff is getting intentional because there's just that many mistakes. But anyways, this whole go crying thing, right? So we have this account, as we've been saying, the Assassin's Creed news page right here, really dedicating all of their time to propping up this game. And unfortunately, as this user points out,
yeah, no, Mesotero, it's not saying that it was not in Japan. It was saying that cherry blossoms blooming and watermelons being in season at the same time is not technically accurate. The watermelon season and cherry blossoms were two completely different seasons. You would never see them together at the same time. That was the point that was being made. And Hefe, thank you for the tier 1 6 months in advance. Thank you very much.
They are very hostile. Every time someone says something negatively about Assassin's Creed Shadows, whether it's on their tweets or other random tweets, they reply by saying, go crying, which is hilarious. As you can see,
yes, we watched that.
All
we
day
watched that one.
and night. I mean, these tweets, by the way, that's several per minute. It just
Jesus.
never ends. Very strange. Imagine like bootlicking Ubisoft this hard. I can't even imagine. But there was more.
Wait, hang on. I was paying attention to you guys. Hang on a second. Let me see that again. Because... Okay. Alright, let me start over here. I was paying attention to you guys. I missed what Rev said.
Creed news page right here, really dedicating all of their time to propping up this game. And unfortunately, as this user points out, they are very hostile. Every time someone says something negatively about Assassin's Creed Shadows, whether it's on their tweets or other random tweets, they reply by saying, go crying, which is hilarious. As you can see, they do this all day and night. I mean, these tweets, by the way, that's several per minute.
Yeah,
it just never ends. Very strange.
Imagine, Revan, you could be right there.
Ubisoft this
or
hard.
They could have, or they could have a bot. It could be an account that when they actually want to tweet something. I'm wondering. I don't know if this is possible, but this is maybe if they want to actually tweet something like actual news, then it's them. And then when they're not actively utilizing the account, they engage the bot whenever they are not actively using it. And so then the bot will automatically run, or yeah, they're basically run a script. But yeah, there's no way this is a person. Every minute, no, that's automated. That is not a person. Even you know who is known for tweeting like fucking crazy, doesn't do this much. This is 100% automated. This is not a person.
Even imagine. But there was more here. This user would also quote the previous one, pointing out the inconsistency, saying, after Shadows, Assassin's Creed should never return to Japan. I've seen levels of nitpicking I've never seen before, and it's only for Japan. That's exactly what we want. Yeah, stay away from Japan. Yeah, keep Assassin's Creed out of Japan because clearly they don't know what they're doing and they've made an absolute mockery of Japanese culture and Japanese history as well. Yes, I think people would be very okay with these terms here.
Okay, it's not only that. It's Assassin's Creed. I've heard nitpicks for other Assassin's Creed games up to now. I've heard some nitpicks about Odyssey. I've heard nitpicks about the last Assassin's Creed game that came out. I forget what it was. It was the one that took place in Egypt, I believe. For the life of me, I can't remember because that Assassin's Creed actually flew way under the radar. But I heard nitpicks about that, where or date Origins. Okay, thank you. For the life of me, I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, with Origins, I heard nitpicks. No, I think didn't Origins come out after Valhalla? And bear in mind, I've heard about issues with Valhalla too. I heard plenty of people did not like Valhalla. Did not like Valhalla. Mirage. Okay, is Mirage the one I'm thinking of? It's people did not like either it was Mirage or Origins, whichever one it was. I heard a lot of people didn't like that one because the combat was completely uninspired. Every single combat engagement was basically, it was like strike, block, heavy strike, assassinate. Like every combat engagement was garbage. So I heard about all kinds of problems with that Assassin's Creed 2. What it is we're seeing build up from pretty much starting with Odyssey, honestly. From about Odyssey, all the way up till now, the nitpicking and complaints have increased, and it is culminating with Assassin's Creed Shadows because everything we're seeing with Assassin's Creed Shadows is far more egregious than the games before it. So, starting Origins, through Odyssey, through Valhalla, through Mirage. Mirage, I heard probably more nitpicks of it. And Assassin in Shadows is the culmination of everybody seeing the downward trajectory that Ubisoft is having, and Shadows is just the culmination of it. Not only are they doing a grievous disrespect to Japan, in a myriad of ways, mind you, but they're also basically giving a big fuck you to the fans by saying, okay, we're gonna have the game take place in Japan, but the lead character is gonna be a black guy. Not a Japanese man. Like if you want to have a male character and a male protagonist and a female protagonist, like they did with like Odyssey and like they did with Valhalla, that's fine. But instead of having a Japanese man and a Japanese woman, they had a black man. And so you do that, you better believe every eyeball is going to be on you for pulling this shit. And you better believe that everyone on the internet is going to be digging to find out what the fuck is going on with this game. So Ubisoft, they fucked around. Now they're finding out. And so Ubisoft is now into the find out arc. And so, yeah, this is not nitpicking. This is legitimate problems. And it's not because it's only for Japan. I'd say the fact that it's in Japan is circumstantial. It happens to be that this game that has led up to this where people are having problems with it happens to be in Japan, and they royally fuck with Japanese culture.
The terms are very agreeable. But anyways, people would point out this particular user because they also said this. So this user says, it's clear you're here for the hates, not the discussion, where that previous user said this. Here's a gif of Yasuke kicking the F out of a Japanese NPC. I love it. That's not a great look. Yeah, not the greatest look ever. It just seems like you're getting some sort of a kick out of Yasuke beating up a bunch of Japanese people in a game. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe don't take this stuff too seriously. But anyways, speaking of what...
Yeah. Leo, you're right. That was what a lot of people had a problem with, is historical figures being in Assassin's Creed is perfectly normal. It is. It is perfectly normal for historical figures to be in Assassin's Creed, which you interact with. You, as the protagonist, never played said historical figure. You, as the protagonist, interact with those historical figures. And that's why I said if they really wanted to include, regardless of whether or not the viability or the feasibility of a black man named Yatsuke existing in feudal Japan, regardless of that, people would not have had a problem if he happened to be an NPC within the game that you as the protagonist interact with. If they just have him, yeah, there would have been some people that would have taken issue with it. There's some people that take issue with everything, but by and large, people say, people interacting with Yatsuke as an NPC, they wouldn't be a problem. There wouldn't be anywhere near as a problem because you were interacting with him as an NPC, kind of like you interacted with known historical figures in other Assassin's Creed games. But no, instead this time, Ubisoft said, we're going to take this highly disputed historical figure, key thing, highly disputed, and he's going to be the protag. You are going to be this person, instead of being a non-historical figure that interacts with historical figures. Pretty sure that I heard there was another game in this time period and did have Yatsuki as an NPC you could interact with, and Zip, that would have been fine. If Ubisoft had gone that route, people probably wouldn't have had issue with it. There would have a few been like, hey, okay, this is bullshit, he never exists. Now, there would be those. But having Yatsuki as an interactable NPC would have been fine. But they didn't go that route, did they?
You can or can't beat in this game. As you can see, pointed out here, a Japanese illustrator said that watching Yasuke's gameplay in the newly revealed Assassin's Creed Shadows, there was one part that really stood out to me as a problem. Wouldn't it make sense to prevent players from destroying religious sites? I mean, it's an actual shrine. And in this clip, Yasuke, obviously being piloted by this character, is going around destroying shrines and damaging them and doing all this stuff, which is odd because, again, you wouldn't really think you'd be able to do that in the first.
Okay, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. In previous Assassin's Creed games, if you just indiscriminately started killing civilians in previous Assassin's Creed games, didn't that get you a desynchronized? You said that earlier? Zep? Okay, between trying to watch the video and you guys, I probably missed that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Why in the fuck would that not desynchronize? Okay, you guys went over that. Okay. Yeah, like, he's supposed to be a samurai. Let's even put away the ethnicity. Put the ethnicity completely aside. He's a samurai. Samurai do not run around destroying religious sites, like shrines, and massacring innocent people. That doesn't happen. Not intentionally. If it's unintentional, that's different. If he's in a battle and something gets destroyed as, as collateral, that's different. But to just start fucking shit up, that should be an instant desync. What the fuck?
First place, but it's odd that you're allowed to do stuff like this, but then you're not allowed to do stuff like this. As pointed out and translated from Japanese, it is impossible to attack Portuguese merchants. As you can see, you can't actually attack these Portuguese merchants in the game. Your weapon just goes right through them. It's very weird how you can attack one thing, the shrines, but not these Portuguese merchants. Very strange stuff, and at the very least, another example of...
What the fuck? What the hell is going on here? This is so fucking insane. You can't attack the Portuguese merchants, but you can go to town on the Japanese NPCs? What? Well, yeah, Alex, you could be right. We could be reading into this. We absolutely could be reading into this. This is a merchant. That's one thing. Yeah.
Portuguese
This is a
merchants.
merchant.
Very
So it's a persistent NPC where you're buying goods from. My guess is that because it's the merchant. I mean, okay, Revan, it may actually be coincidental. Maybe. Cause I don't know, in other Assassin's Creed games, you probably yeah, well, yeah, Zeb, that is the question. Is it true for all the merchants? There would need to be a test if this is true with all merchants in the game. And if it's true with all merchants in the game, then it's the mechanic of you can't kill any of the merchants. So we would need a test, which we probably don't have. But yeah, I think we jumped the gun on it a little bit. Brad might be too. That this is it's kind of like you can like in many games you cannot kill the shopkeepers. Some games you can, but many games you cannot attack or kill or injure a shopkeep or a merchant in a game. That's actually kind of standard. So I think we might have jumped the gun on it a bit with calling that out, and Rev's kind of calling it out. Probably doing the same thing we're doing. So
strange stuff, and at the very least, another example of bugs in this game. And we're counting down. It's just over a month until release. There's no reason for stuff like this to continue existing. Also, on top of that, we're seeing another legend, another very stunning and brave character being fully introduced to us. So I've seen a lot of this screenshots of this character. You might have as well. This big Chungus here. Turns out this is a real character in the game, and something they're really pushing. So, as this tweet says, people think the female sumo in Assassin's Creed Shadows is a joke, but it's real. They added a female sumo who kicks and pulverizes Japanese chuds. Worse, in the Azuchi Momoyama period, Rikishi meant man of strength. With such a rich history, they chose this to...
Are you fucking kidding me right now? They made first and foremost, chat, educate me if I'm not aware of this. Do female sumo wrestlers even exist? Because, to the best of my knowledge and understanding, female sumo wrestlers are not a thing. Yeah, they're not a thing. So they okay, here's a question I have. Are we I'm gonna ask this. Women's sumo has a long history in Japan dating back to the Edo period, 1603 to 1868. So female sumo wrestlers are a thing, but not permitted in official competitions. Okay, so female sumo wrestlers are a thing. Okay, that's why I asked, because I never heard of it ever, so I wasn't sure. But apparently it is a thing. But amateur level only. And is the time period of Assassin's Creed Shadows pre or post the Edo period? Because someone just said that Assassin's Creed Shadows is pre-Edo period, which means the female sumo wrestler was not a thing. They were not a thing. And they're giving this wrestler a man's name. So not only are we pre-Edo period where female sumo wrestling was not a thing, but they're giving this female sumo wrestler a male name. And we thought it was bad enough with just Yatsuke. No, it's just getting worse. It's getting worse, chat.
Mock Japan. You see the description right here.
The first recorded instance of women performing sumo, according to the Nihon Shoki, is when Emperor Yuryaku 418 to 479.
Really? Okay. So it did date back to 418. In a minor way. Now, here's the other question. How big were the female sumo wrestlers? That's the other question. Just because female sumo wrestlers existed, how big were they? Because I have my doubts that, yeah, they were not this big. Physically, how physically, like, were they as big as this character? Or were they leaner? Because I suspect leaner, with maybe a bit of a pop build. Yeah, sumo wrestlers in general, yes. I'm very aware of that sumo wrestlers in Japan are, yes. I'm curious about the female sumo wrestlers. So nowadays 176 pounds, so basically knock about 50 pounds off that for feudal Japan. Source one's report since. So the first female quote-unquote sumo wrestlers weren't exactly sumo. They were like they were like the ladies of the WWE.
It seems that this game was only made so Ubisoft could disrespect Japanese culture and history.
It's starting to seem that way, doesn't it? It is. And yeah, Gore, that's what I'm thinking. Like, the original female sumo wrestlers were like basically mud wrestlers. There was something to titillate, not actual sport like with male sumo wrestlers.
What was said in the tweet. Yeah, this is a very interesting hill to die on. Forced representation that doesn't even make sense historically or even with the concepts that they're using to describe this character. Just a very, very weird, stunning and brave, I know, but a bit of a strange choice, to say the least. But there's one other thing I want to talk about here. This individual, a Japanese YouTuber named Shohei. So Shohei's been having a bit of a go here because it appears that YouTube was cracking down on his content. He was actually hit with a strike against one of his videos. It was taken down. And as you can see, it is back up now. Just as you can see right here, how Asian hate is often dismissed. Japanese reacts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. This video was taken down for hateful conduct because apparently criticizing Ubisoft, especially as a Japanese person whose culture and history is being mocked in this game, is too far for YouTube. As you can see here, he got a bunch of emails showing that his content was removed, and his content was also removed on appeal as well. The appeal was upheld, and he had his video completely nuked. Now, he would also go out and get a lot of attention on the situation, which is great. A lot of people reacted and shared and signal boosted his situation. I believe even Asmongold reacted to a related video on this. So that was very good because it resulted in the video being restored, which is great.
Yeah, because this is... So what's happening is people are taking advantage of YouTube's, basically, their AI reporting. And he puts this video up and people are reporting hate speech, and the AI bot for YouTube just says automatic boo because someone reported hate speech. It's people abusing YouTube's AI bot. When this is a Japanese person. saying Ubisoft is being racist towards Japan. So, this is, ironically enough, my guess is this is a bunch of dumbass fucking white saviors that are like, no, Ubisoft is doing great things for the Japanese and African people, and, how dare you criticize them? Report. And YouTube's bot just went, oh, report for racist conduct, must destroy, bong. Yeah, so basically, YouTube is telling a Japanese person, you cannot criticize a company who is doing a shit job of representation of Japanese culture because you're just a Japanese person. What do you know about Japanese representation? That's basically what YouTube is saying, is Japanese people cannot call out piss poor Japanese representation. Does they have more robo? You wish to have more robo, Ember? Maybe I should continue this way for the rest of the stream. What do you think, chat? Shall I continue speaking like this for the rest of the stream?
That's the result we're all looking for. But at the same time, the fact that it takes all of that to get a video that was clearly removed falsely back up, it shouldn't come that far. Like, I've done it with my own channel when I've had issues. I've had to go to Twitter, of all places, and basically beg Team YouTube on Twitter, please do something. And typically, unless you're getting like thousands of likes and a lot of attention,
YouTube doesn't have a way to contact them.
That's the only...
YouTube has no way to get in contact with them. And even, like, going after Team YouTube on Twitter, like, adding them on Twitter, is a fucking crapshoot. Because do you have any idea how many people probably at Team YouTube on a daily basis? It is all, like, if your video gets nuked by YouTube, you basically need a fucking miracle to get it back up again. Because they're not listening to anybody. Even their top creators, they don't listen to. Everything is controlled by a bot now. So if your video gets taken offline, you have no one to talk to. The appeal system is automated, and it's automated to the degree that it's almost always automatically declining it. So you're kind of fucked. That's why I don't monetize my YouTube. Because if I monetize my YouTube channel probably will get bitch slapped by the AI. And good chance I'd probably lose a lot of my videos and a lot of my channel. Because I don't monetize, I'm not getting slapped around by copyright as badly as if I was monetized. So I keep it that's why I don't monetize the YouTube channel. So that way it can still remain as a good advertisement for this very stream, which is what I intended for it in the first place.
Only way you're gonna get any sort of response. It's very strange how YouTube works, but let's watch his video recapping what happened here, and let's listen to a little bit of what he has to say about the situation right now.
I still don't know what happened. It's happened at least 12 times. And I spent whole day keeping an eye on the video. Every time video was taken down, I submit appeal. And the YouTube accept appeal. And then taken down again. I really don't know what's going on. And I really appreciate YouTube to fix that issue. I really appreciate it. You can easily find any Japanese channel talking about this topic, and then you can easily tell majority of us, we really not happy about this game, and we are really feel ignored, dismissed.
Really? All the journalists told me that Japanese people love Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's so strange. I can't believe it. Yeah, he's right, obviously. I'll put a link to this in the description if you want to check out this video as well.
And that's why his video keeps getting taken down. His video gained some traction, probably because he's one of probably only, I would estimate, as an estimation, probably a handful of Japanese people out of Japan that speak a reasonable amount of English. And his video has gained a bit of traction in the Western world. And so and eyeballs went onto him because this is a Japanese person saying Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft are insulting Japan. This is coming from an actual Japanese person in Japan. And what you're getting is you're getting the reeing, rainbow-haired, terminally online freak shows that are standing for Ubisoft and abjectly refusing to listen to the very person who this game is kind of directed at, i.e. the Japanese people. And basically, it's the fucking white saviors that are going, you couldn't possibly know what's good for your own culture. We know better. We're not going to let this stand by you spitting facts at great Ubisoft with their great messaging. We cannot allow this to happen, so we're going to report you. It's literally the rainbow-haired, terminally online freak shows that are living in perpetual victimhood. They are literally jumping from one victimization to another victimization and completely ignoring the fact that this is the person, this is the ethnicity that is being victimized by Ubisoft. But because a black man is the protagonist, that trumps the entire rest of the Japanese setting. That's one thing with Yatsuke, is because Yatsuke is the protagonist and is black, that is the central focus of these reeing fucking idiots. Is any criticism of the game is in their heads a criticism of a black man. That is how they are taking this. And so they're saying, we're going to report any criticism of the game because forget about the fact that this is a setting in Japanese, this is Japanese culture, literally everything about the game is Japanese with the exception of Yatsuke. But these freaks, these fucking morons, only see Yatsuke. And they only see criticism of a black man when people criticize the Assassin's Creed gems. So that's who keeps taking his video. His video probably got some traction in the West, for whatever reason, and because of that, the moronic white saviors have come out of the woodwork to basically try and shut him up so he does not besmirch the great Ubisoft messenger. That's basically what's happened.
As well as his channel. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to see so many people, including Japanese
I have zero doubt of that,
come
Leo.
out and say,
They're not
have an
commenting,
issue
they're
with
just
you,
reporting.
Ubisoft, and it just falls on deaf ears. This continues to happen over and over again. It's exhausting to see, and really, again, pretty much Ubisoft has burned down every bridge. I mean, who would want to continue supporting a company like that, especially if you're from Japan, after what they did with Shadows? I mean, it's a joke. But there's one more thing I want to quickly show you. Trust the journalists, ladies and gentlemen. As pointed out here, Morgan Park, a game journalist for PC Gamer, is trying to tell you how good Assassin's Creed Shadows is. So this is the headline from PC Gamer. I played 6 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and folks, I think this one was worth the wait. Interesting title because they've said this before. Uh-oh, I played 7 hours of Concord this weekend and immediately want back in. Oh.
Someone wants to retain their journalism access. It's not even being paid, Brevin. Morgan Park just wants to keep their access. I don't know if this is a man or a woman. That's why I said there. I have no clue if this is a guy or a girl. But Morgan Park wants to keep access to the game companies. That's why all of these journalists write these puff pieces where they laud how wonderful these quote-unquote AAA games are. It's because they want to keep their access with these game devs so they can continue to do stories and interviews with them. And if they don't write kindly of them, the game devs won't give them the time of day.
Oh, geez. Here's another one. After playing 5 hours of exploring The Galaxy and ghosting past stormtroopers. Star Wars Outlaws is finally winning me over. Oh, jeez. Here's another one. 8 hours in. Suicide Squad doesn't seem like the disaster some were waiting for. Yeah, you can definitely trust this journalist right here when they say Assassin's Creed Shadows is good based on...
Morgan Park is more concerned with sucking off the game developers' dicks than actually being honest. Yeah. This is grade A journalism dick sucking happening right here. Okay, this guy is deep throating these game devs all the way to the base, and is even giving them some good tug action here too. So they can get that sweet access
on 6 hours of gameplay because they have such a sterling record.
This is why I don't listen
to
game journalists, Leo.
Of Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Absolutely phenomenal work from PC Gamer.
This is why people don't read game journalism anymore.
That's going to do it for this video. Obviously a lot going on with Ubisoft, and it definitely won't be the end of the issues for them. Again, Assassin's Creed Shadow has to be a home run for them, and I don't think it's going to be quite the revenue generator they are praying for. But as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. As I said, Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to be a blockbuster. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be the swan song for UBS, Jesus Christ, Ubisoft. It will be Ubisoft's swan song. They're done after Assassin's Creed. And they know it. That's why they're already trimming down so many of their departments. Why they're closing down their studios. They know they're done. They know the writing is on the wall, so they know they're done.